Thanks for joining me again as we look back at another great classic film. This film is from perhaps the most celebrated British director. Adapted by a famous playwright from his own stage play, it helped to launch the career of a great British actor, contains some of the most spectacular black and white cinematography, and is a film loved by so many. It is Brief Encounter from 1945. The screenplay was adapted from Noel Coward's 1935 one-act stage play Still Life, and was expanded from 5 short scenes in the refreshment tea room of the fictional Milford Junction train station, to include settings such as Laura's house, the apartment of Dr. Harvey's friend, restaurants, parks, train compartments, shops, a car, a boating lake, and a cinema. Changes included the scene where the two lovers are considering adultery being toned down, and Laura contemplating throwing herself in front of an express train, explained through voiceover narration. Characters at Milford Station are much less aware of the growing relationship between Laura and Alec, and the final scene of the film shows Laura embracing her husband as they discuss fixing their relationship issues. The film was a collaborative effort with David Lean working as a writer-director, Anthony Havelock Allen and Ronald Neame as writer-producers, and Noel Coward helping to adapt his own stage play, as well as playing the train station announcer. Roger Livesey was the first choice for Dr. Alec Harvey, but when Lean and Havelock Allen saw Trevor Howard in a rough cut of Johnny in the Clouds, they offered him the part. At the time, Howard was an unknown actor, and this was his first major movie role. Lean, Havelock Allen, Neame and Coward all wanted Celia Johnson to play Laura Jesson. Johnson hated making movies, but after Coward read her the part, she knew that she was right for the role. Johnson was dreading the 4-week location shoot, but softened when she met the cast and crew, and enjoyed their spirit of camaraderie. Between scenes, she played poker with the crew or worked on a crossword, and was impressed by the station master who let cast and crew warm up in his office. Much of the film was shot at Camforth Railway Station in Lancashire because it was a busy station far enough away from London to avoid the wartime blackouts, air raids and rocket attacks. Shooting usually started at 10:30 p.m. and continued until 6 a.m. before the morning commute started. Camforth had a ramp leading up to the train platform which Lean believed would look better than stairs when the actors were running to catch their trains. Unhappy with the location of the station's refreshment room, Lean had a different one built in another part of the station for exterior shots. For interiors, he shot in a film studio in Denham, although the set was closely modelled on the actual refreshment room. Although not mentioned in the script, David Lean was so intrigued with the station's clock that he made frequent use of it. This required making a dummy face so that the times would match the story, and so it could be easily read in long shots. Camforth Station retains many of the period features from the time of filming, which has made it a destination for lovers of the film. Some of the urban scenes were shot in London, Denham and Beaconsfield, near Denham Studios, where the film was made. The production drew extras from the area around Camforth, who were keen participants because of the dinner provided each night, which included sweets and other items restricted by wartime rationing. This was David Lean's first movie to use trains and train stations, something that would become a trademark of future films such as Summertime, The Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago. The movie had its first preview in front of a working class audience in Rochester, where the results were disastrous, with the audience laughing through the romantic scenes. It was released theatrically in November of 1945 to widespread critical acclaim, despite doubts it would be generally popular. It was expected to be popular in France, but distributor Gaumont turned the film down, only changing its mind when the movie won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and it did turn out to be a big hit in France. The movie was banned in Ireland for portraying an adulterer in a sympathetic light. It opened at the Little Carnegie, an art house cinema in New York, and built up a strong following through word of mouth, breaking the house record and running for a total of 8 months. It was the 21st most popular film at the British box office in 1946, and critics voted it one of the 10 greatest films ever made in 1952. The film was such a hit in the US that Celia Johnson was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. The film also received nominations for Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay. It was considered the 4th best film of the year at the National Board of Review Awards. Celia Johnson won a Best Actress Award at the New York Film Critics Circle Awards. The British Film Institute ranked it as the 2nd greatest British film of all time, behind The Third Man, which also featured Trevor Howard. While a Time Out poll of 150 actors, directors, writers, producers and critics ranked it as the 12th best British film ever. The film succeeded by reinforcing social norms of the time, highlighting high moral standards and an unwillingness to engage in infidelity. At the time of the release, brief encounters were considered commonplace in part to women's far greater sexual and economic freedom. Updating the story and leaving those values behind impacts the plot's credibility, explaining why the 1974 remake with Richard Burton and Sophia Loren was unsuccessful. Owing to the rise of homosexual law reform, gay men saw the characters' plights as comparable to their own, making the film a favourite among that community. In the most recent Sight and Sound poll of the world's greatest films, Brief Encounter didn't make the top 100, but the film it inspired, The Apartment, came in at number 54. Today, the film is widely praised for its black and white photography and the mood created by the steam age railway setting. It is one of the 1,001 movies you must see before you die. It was Princess Diana's favourite movie, and as I mentioned, Billy Wilder was fascinated by the use of a friend's apartment as a lover's rendezvous, and what the friend was doing while his apartment was occupied, and this was the idea that inspired his film, The Apartment. Robert Altman saw the film as a 21-year-old, and at first he wondered why he was even watching it. 20 minutes later, he was in tears and had fallen in love with the heroine, making him feel that it wasn't just a movie. Lots of good reasons to watch this film. It is a charming and a heartwarming story written by a team that includes celebrated actor and playwright Noel Coward. Great atmospheric locations, shooting and masterful direction by David Lean, excellent performances by Trevor Howard and Celia Johnson, well supported by an ensemble cast and lots of beautiful black and white cinematography. One of the best British films of all time. So what I'd suggest you do is that you go to our website, find our virtual screenings page, find the link to this particular film, definitely click on and watch it. It's a wonderful film. As always, we'd invite you to come back, let us know your thoughts about the film and whether you'd recommend it for other people as well. And then we're back in the not too distant future with our next classic films review. Catch you next time.